Everybody's been waiting. Everybody's heard about this for years. The Crow story. It started probably about September 2015 when we decorated for Halloween. We had everything all decorated, and one of the things we put up was a crow. And it's just amazing how many people are oblivious to their surroundings. Well, after Halloween was over that year in 2015, we started taking down all the decorations, and one of the girls dragged a chair over, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm taking the crow down." I said, "No, leave him up." I said, "I kind of got attached to him, and I named him Russell." It's just amazing how many people come in and never even saw Russell sitting up there. Then people started asking about him, and we'd tell people the story about how we decorated for Halloween and put him up. Well, so many people heard the story over and over and over and over and over and over again that we came up with rules about how you got to hear the crow story. Now, this is just whenever there's one crow, because it only took a minute or two, but people wanted their drinks, they wanted service, they didn't want to hear the story again. Or the two rules we had come up with is you had to be a customer and you had to be the first person the day that asked. And that worked out great for a while. As the crows accumulated, then one day we had to add another rule to the story because somebody had come in, because I get to work about an hour early every day. Somebody came in right as I got here, wanted to know the story. I told him he had to be a customer, so he bought something. And then he was the first person to ask. Well, then, right at 5 o'clock when we opened, a woman came running through the door. She's like, "I'm the first person of the day, you just opened." So we had to add another rule to the story, that it must be during business hours as well. And a lot of people over the last few years have heard the term, "today is not your day," because they didn't meet one of the rules to hear the story. So this will be the last time we will be seeing it live. Everybody else will get to see it online, Facebook, YouTube, everything else. But if you come in here and ask for it, we're going to tell you that you can see it online. To make this a little bit shorter, we're going to say number 1 is Russell Crowe. Number 2 is Sheryl Crow. Number 3 is Edgar Allan. Number 4 is David Allen. Number 5 is Brendan Lee, who played the Crow in the movie The Crow. Number 6 is Jim Croce. We don't talk about Jim Crow here. Number 7 is William Dafoe. William Dafoe played the villain in Spider-Man. And the guy who brought this in happened to be a big fan of Marvel, superheroes and everything, so we tried to find something to relate to him. And people have just been bringing these in throughout the years. People just walk in and say, "Here you go." Number 8, with his wings all spread, is Scare. Number 9, at the end down there next to the black and white one, number 9 is a tribute to a personal friend of mine who passed away. He was big for the rock and roll community, big for the city of Archer, for the whole community. Y'all might recognize the name, but in tribute, we named number 9 Crow Diddley. Number 10, you have to be probably over 45 to understand this, but number 10, there was only one thing that we could name Crow 10, and that was Bo Derek. Bo Derek, they made a movie called 10. She was a 10 back in the day, and still is. Number 11, sitting there all multicolored, we named that one LGBTQ plus CROW. Number 12, over there sitting on the bar, broke out of prison. Some people from Canada who come every year, snowbirds come down and stay at Williston Crossings. They brought in number 10, but whenever he broke out of prison, he brought one of his little bitches with him, so he brought his little cardinal friend to come with him. Number 14, and if you notice, we do not have a number 13. Just like the Hard Rock Hotel in Tampa and all the hotels around, we don't have a 13th crow. Number 14 is half black, half white. Some people call him the Oreo Crow. Some people call him Michael Jackson. That one, Sandy and her daughter brought in. Number 15, in tribute to one of the finest players that played for the Florida Gators, over there doing his Heisman pose against the ceiling. Number 15 is Tim T. Crow. Number 16, one of my friends brought in. He was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I know this year wasn't the best year for the Dallas Cowboys, but In 2016, a well-known player named Tony Romo retired from the Dallas Cowboys. So our 16th crow is Tony Romo. We've always put them up in order. Sometimes we would have gaps and continue telling the story. There's only one other crow that is not up, and that one is one that we've had for years, and we just haven't gotten there to that point yet. The next crow that we physically had that we have not put up is dedicated to number 19, and that one is COVID-19. All of the crows, you'll see some of them are numbered and some of them aren't. They're all numbered physically in the number that they were physically put up on the ceiling. There is no rhyme or reason to the numbering, just to make people ask why there's numbers. But I will be honest, I would say 70% of the people that come in and ask about the crow story have been here for years and never even noticed them until we physically put numbers on the ceiling. The 3 is just put up backwards just to mess with people with OCD. Being numbered, they represent the counting crows. They're also the black crows. Also could be a murderer crows. And that right there started off with just a Halloween decoration and good customers that come to the Mustang over the last 9.5 years that continually just want to be a part of it, bring it in, and we put it up and we put a little story behind it. And the reason we only do it once a day is because it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to do. And this way, when people want to know, they can just see it online now. So thank y'all very much for coming to hearing the last story about the crows.